the core things that are shifting are the visibility sources, right? When I got into the game, it was search, find, buy. That was it. There was only search traffic. You, if you wanted to get visibility for your brand, it was search engine optimization. It was ranking on Google, Yahoo, and Bing, and it was paying for ads on Google AdWords. And that was it, man. That was kind of all you had. There was such thing as contextual targeting, but it was a single data point contextual targeting. So it was basically like what we now know as the Google Display Network, but it was like you knew somebody was on a website about cats. That's all you knew about them. So you could serve an ad about cats. Round about 2012, 2013, really, by 2014, 15, 16, it was popping. Came this thing called multi-data point contextual targeting, which Facebook really pioneered, and then Google obviously adopted, and other brands, where it was like all of a sudden you had more than one data point on somebody. You knew how old they were. You knew what gender they were. You knew what they had purchased recently. You knew what they were interested in. And multi-data point contextual targeting gave rise to brands that didn't have a ton of search volume. Like my biggest success that I built myself is a brand called Boom Beauty, and we were the first pro-age cosmetic line, right? Like everyone was anti-age, anti-wrinkle, and we came out with a different idea about how to speak to that consumer and a different sort of viewpoint on what aging is, but nobody was searching for it. So until multi-data point contextual targeting, there was no way for us to break through. And so then you had all these platforms. You had Pinterest. You had, of course, you still had search, find, buy, right? Amazon rose in that time frame as well. I mean, 2013, I started an Amazon business in 2013 that I still run today. It's an 8-figure Amazon brand. So it's like search, find, buy is doing fine. It's a great business model, but contextual targeting really sort of elevated paid advertising and the ability to scale brands. What we have in 26 coming is a new kind of what I believe a new visibility model for brands, which is not ranking in LLMs, because LLMs are like, ChatGPT, Perplexity, right? Like AI, humans engaging with AI as a way to get information, not just social media and being served videos and watching their friends and following people that they're inspired by and their algorithmic feeds, and not just searching for things, but actually engaging in conversation that is unique to them, where this sort of like machine learning, people call it AI, but it's not AI, it's machine learning. It's a machine learning algorithm that is processing a bunch of data and then cross-referencing that and then delivering information based on that. But basically, what's interesting about this is each individual user will have a even more, because you have a curated feed now on your social platforms, right? Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and any of these platforms that you engage with, they're tracking everything that you do. And what they're trying to do is keep you on their platform, because the interesting thing about capitalism right now is whoever has the attention wins. So what these algorithms have figured out is that if they can piss you off and scare you, they can keep you on the platform. And so that's kind of like a lot of what's out there is designed to get you mad or freak you out, because that's what keeps you engaged. Or it's designed to, like when I go on my Instagram, it's like jujitsu, weightlifting, Hawaii, surfing, bonsai trees, sumo wrestling. It's like they know that is the shit that I am interested in. And that if they serve that up to me, I'm going to stay longer. I'm going to consume more. I'm going to click more ads. They're going to make more money off of me. And what's interesting about these LLMs is like, not only are they buying the data to see who you are and what you're interested in, but they have all the information that you feed it. And people are feeding it a ton of information like, hey, I'm having an argument with my spouse. This is what happened. What do I do? And or like, hey, I'm writing a birthday card to my best friend. Here's our relationship. Here's some things I want to say, make it better for me. Like all like detailed information about you. Or, hey, I want to, redesign my desk. I do this job. Here's the things I need. This is what I'm most interested in. I've checked out these products. What do you think is best? Like, give me an idea, for a whole desk setup. Like it's got all this information. And I think really what makes this awesome for brands is they're going to open up advertising. And these LLMs, specifically ChatGPT, is the fastest growing let's call it app. It's kind of like more than an app, but let's just call it an app for now, ever in the history of the internet. The faster in growth than users than Facebook, faster in growth than users than WhatsApp, faster in growth than users than TikTok, like the fastest ever to go to 1 billion users or whatever they're at, 800 million. I got to go look at the data. But so the way they're going to monetize, I mean, they're just losing money hand over fist at the moment, even though they are their theoretical valuation is what is propping up the U.S. economy, which is something else we can talk about in a second. But they will monetize it through paid advertising, and brands will get to leverage this paid advertising. And those of us who are early adopters of that will do very well. And the cool thing too is I came up with this concept called integrated social commerce back in 2014. I said, hey, there's two waves that are coming to how we consume the digital medium. One is wearable technology. I predict the first mass market wearable technology where you will engage with the digital medium will be in 2015. Well, I was wrong. It was much later. There was Google Glass, which had already come out, which is why I was like, oh, this is where we're going. But everybody hated them. They called them glass holes. It's just like, it didn't work. But then the Apple iWatch in 2018, 2019 kind of was like the first mass market wearable. Now, of course, you have the Facebook, you have the Apple Vision Pro, you have the Facebook Meta glasses, but like wearable technology and engagement with the digital medium where you are speaking to it. So, hey, Meta, hey, Google, and then augmented reality where the digital medium is actually overlaid over your world, right? So like, hey, I'm interested in this. Hey, what's that person wearing? And it pulls it up and you'll be able to buy it right from this augmented reality interface. So that's like a few years out because the glasses aren't quite good enough. But audio engagement with the digital medium and wearable technology, augmented reality overlay engagement with the digital medium are big future ways that like brands are going to sell to consumers. But ChatGPT being sort of like the most interactive, and the other ones, way in which we have given information to an app and let the information give back to us. Shopify has now integrated to that, and you can buy right from in these LLMs. And when I said integrated social commerce, what I meant was you're going to be able to run an ad on Facebook. This was back in 2014, 15, and buy right from that ad. And then I had the pleasure of supporting Facebook and building out what we now know as Facebook Shops. So it came in the form of TikTok Shop, Facebook Shop, Meta Shop, Instagram Shop, etc. So it didn't quite work out in the way I thought. The way I thought it was going to work out was like you would just purchase from within an actual ad unit. But the combining of the search layer and the commerce layer, it's like already got one step closer. It used to be, you had to search for it. You had to go to their website. Amazon kind of brought this together where it was like all the search and all the commerce happened in one app. And this is what Shopify wants. This is what the Shop app is all about. We can talk about the Shop app because everybody should really be on that. And it's really interesting. So bring me back to the Shop app in a minute and then I'll stop. But basically, the thing that's happening in e-commerce is search and interest and engagement and then actual commerce used to be like step. And they're squishing together, which actually isn't that wonderful for brands because like what we want is to own the customer data. And as the commerce layer and the interest layer get closer and closer together, we own less and less of that data, right? You don't own any of the data on Amazon. You're not, and the more that the commerce happens not on your site, the less data you're going to own. The more that the person processing the data, which is Shopify, which is a whole big thing, is going to own. But it's a really interesting thing because basically it means that our sales funnels are going to change a little bit. And what's going to be most useful to brands is actually going to be content and storytelling and then quality of product, and less so, your website's kind of going away in a sense, right? It's like the website will be right now probably 60 to 80% of well, actually, if you give a normal brand, it's probably 60% of their traffic, their sales are happening on their website, with 40% happening on Amazon when you're at scale, because Amazon's kind of 40 to 50% of all commerce at this point. They're eating up commerce. So of the 60% of your sales that are happening on your website, of your total sales, let's call it 10% are happening on social shops if you're really scaled, if you're on Facebook Shop, Instagram Shop, TikTok Shop, Shop app. But it's, for most brands, it's probably more like 3 to 5%. That number is going to grow, and it's going to grow considerably. And so optimizing all the different areas where people are, the ChatGPT commerce layer and ads, the Instagram and Facebook commerce layer and ads, all that stuff is going to be more and more of a thing to the point where your actual website's going to diminish over the next 10 years in the amount of volume. It'll still have a website, but it won't be getting the kind of engagement it gets now.
Ezra, I love those predictions of what's coming down the pipe for e-commerce. And I would really, truly agree with you that the compression of going from search to purchase is just getting condensed very, very quickly. And I think that OpenAI, I do believe that my prediction is in 2026, like in advertising platform there is rolled out. And I think it is going to be an arbitrage opportunity. I think that we know that Facebook had really good like identifying pixel data and they really got to know you personally. I think like ChatGPT knows you 100 times better than Facebook knows you at this point, because you're having those more intimate conversations than you would otherwise on even Google or definitely on Facebook and what you're browsing just on the internet. So I'm very interested in that. And here's the other prediction that I have, Ezra. I think that OpenAI already announced that they will have integrations with Shopify and allow like that click to purchase and how you can merchandise your product there. That's great. Well, it'll be interesting to see how that all shapes up. But what's interesting is like for the past decade, almost two, Amazon has been the king, right? Amazon is just like, who's ever going to be able to knock off Amazon? They have got the 1-day fulfillment, 2-day fulfillment promises, right? That's like whoever's going to be able to dethrone them has to have a good, fulfillment structure. And I think that maybe there is a shot here where e-commerce as a whole may begins to transition into a more ubiquitous, like it's social commerce involved with this like LLM model where it's just kind of part of your natural daily movements. And again, the wearable devices, we know Johnny Ivy is working with OpenAI to come out with a wearable device. So what impact does that have? But suffice it to say, when all of these things come to fruition, seems like every decade there becomes an arbitrage opportunity where it's first mover advantage. And when Facebook first came out with their ads, it was an arbitrage opportunity for the people that acted quickly. I mean, that's what Alex Hormozy attributes his success to: arbitrage opportunity on basically printing money. With more money he fed Meta, the more money he got out of that Facebook funnel. So I believe that there will be another arbitrage opportunity that happens here within the LLM AI space. So, Ezra, there's so much that we can dive into from here, but I want to almost like pull it back just a hot minute to say, all right, great. We've got lots of predictions, lots of exciting things that could or should happen in the e-commerce space. So what should brand owners do today? Beginning 2026, what action items would you recommend? Like, hey, all this cool fancy stuff may be happening, but here's what I would start doing now so that you are ready when and if these cool things do come to pass.
Well, I think you should optimize every current channel. So the shop app, right? It's probably 1% to 2% of your total revenue, but people aren't optimizing it. They're not running their sales in there. They don't have it fully built out. They don't have the shop app campaigns turned on inside of Shopify. Optimize that. Optimize your social shops and run Advantage Plus so that people can shop in there. So just get all that set up. Have your full product catalog filled out in the back end of Shopify, every piece of identifiable information about your product, so that when Shopify is sending the data about products to LLMs, you don't have any data missing. If you have any data missing, you're going to be discounted. Now, of course, for sort of ranking inside of LLMs, the more established brands that have more content signals, more organic traffic, more reviews, those ones are going to get the higher rankings to start. Get all your ducks in a row, get everything optimized. Number one. Number two, unfortunately, or fortunately, if you look at e-commerce brands today, it's Google or it's Facebook. Pretty much. Hey, there's a few of these freaking TikTok shop companies that are out there selling, the thing about TikTok shop is you got to be selling something like $50 or under, because when TikTok first rolled out the shop, they subsidized everything by like 30 or 40%. They put billions of dollars into subsidizing the commerce on there to get the commerce engine started. And it's a younger demo, so cheaper products work well. But like for most brands, TikTok's sub 5% of their total revenue, if that. So I don't think that's going to be it. It's like Amazon, Facebook, Google. Those are the three things that are driving your business. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. You might have somehow you're getting some PR, or somehow you're getting some organic search, or somehow you've got a really wonderful affiliate strategy where you've got affiliates promoting you, but probably not. Probably not. That's 1 out of 100 brands that has one of those other three that's actually working for them. 99 out of 100 of us, it's, for me, every one of my brands. And I do hundreds of millions of revenue per year. Now, of course, these are not all brands I built. I have several brands that I built that are doing well, but now I've bought brands. And I'm a part of a private equity company, and we purchase things. And so, but you look across most brands and it's going to be those three. So how optimized are those three channels?